Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. This is virtual class of Pakistan International School Taif. I am Muhammad Yasin. This English class is for the students of grade 8. We are going to do lesson 18 today. This is our 23rd video in this class. After today's lesson, we shall be able to write the dialogue between brother and sister. In our today's lesson, we shall try to develop understanding of the passage given in lesson 18. We shall do the exercises of this lesson. We shall do one exercise of novel and a few of grammar. Let us start. We shall start from the dialogue. As I told you before, dialogue is a conversation between two people. It can be among other people, more than two also. This one is between brother and sister. Brother is Ali and the sister is Fatima. Ali is saying to Fatima, "What is the time?" Fatima is saying, "It is nearly 5 minutes to 8 by my watch." Ali, "Upon my word, we must hurry up if you are to catch that train for Rawalpindi." Fatima, "Why? When is it due out?" Ali, "At 9:15 exactly." Fatima, "Oh, never mind. We have plenty of time." Dear students, then Ali says, "I am not so sure of that. What on earth have you been doing? What time did you get up?" Fatima, "I woke up before 5:30. Then I performed ablution and said my morning prayer. Now breakfast is ready. Don't look at me like that." Ali, "For heaven's sake, get ready. We have not a minute to lose. Time flies, you know. It will take some time to go to the railway station also." Fatima, "Okay, you go and bring a taxi." Ali, "You come out, we can take it when we are on the main road." Fatima, "How shall I take my bag?" "Up to the main road." Ali, "I'll take it to the main road." Fatima, "You have yours also." Ali, "No problem. I'll take both." Fatima, "Thank you." Dear students, if we are in the class, we read it in the form of an activity. One boy becomes a brother and the other becomes sister. Then they read their own lines. But as we are not here in our class, I have read it for you. I think you have got the understanding of dialogue. You know very well. Nothing is difficult here. Vocabulary is easy. Sentence structures are simple. I think you can prepare it very well. Very well. Let us move forward. Dear students, this is your novel. We are going to do exercise 7. In this exercise, we are set to put these sentences describing Ellen and David's journey in the right order. We shall arrange them in correct order. Dear students, you have done several exercises before in your previous classes to arrange the sentences in correct sequence. If we read them, we find them in this sequence. Number 1 becomes 4 and number 2 comes at 9, number 3 comes at 6. Let us move forward. These sentences come in this sequence. Yes, students, this is their correct sequence. This is chapter 8 of the novel. I shall read for you first paragraph, then you will complete reading of this chapter. In our next video, we shall do exercise 8. The journey to the lowlands, the quarrel we left Cluny's hut in the middle of the night so that no one would see us. One of Cluny's men came with us and carried out packs. He took us across Loch Eric to another of Cluny's hiding places at the top end of Loch Rannoch. All the time we were walking, Ellen and I did not speak to each other. I was furious with Ellen for losing all our money playing cards with Cluny, and he was ashamed about his loss. Dear students, we have started chapter 8. You will complete the reading. Yes, students, now we shall do a few exercises of grammar. You can see this is exercise number 41. We have done up to 40 in our previous lesson. What are we said to do? We are said to choose the correct alternatives. The train arrived at the platform. Children depend on their parents. Salma has replied to the letter. Nazim could not succeed in the test. He wished for a happy life. Why do you stare at the poor? I departed from that village in a hurry. You always remind him of his father. I longed for Pakistan. She insisted on my telling her the whole story. Dear students, this is exercise 42. In this exercise, we are set to insert of, on, by, to, with, into, about, in, over, for, after in the following blanks. He is blind of one eye. This check is for the Habib Bank. I swore by God I said it to his face. She died of cholera. He is ill with fever. It is 9 by my watch. With all these faults, I love him. He rises with the sun. He beat the thief with a stick. Arabia is to the north of the UAR. Open your book at page 46. She will arrive in a few minutes. The dog ran into the hole. Go about your business. She is kind to me. Monkeys live in trees. You quarrel over trifles. It is a check of 300 rupees. He has no child by this wife. She was dressed in black. It is time to rest. I am getting late for school. The examination begins on Saturday. He goes to school on foot. She came here by train. 27 is he is thankful to me. She was married to Akbar. Put it in your pocket or put it to your pocket. The carriage moved into the station. I met him on the way. We all went in. He played with the cards. Don't lighter in the street. Is he in his room? The book lies on the table. After a month he returned. I shall explain this to you. Part number 39 is hold it up to the light. I jumped to the other side. We have 5 fingers on each hand. Look up this word in the dictionary. No lady is in this committee. He is like a brother to me. Write it on the margin of your book. Dear students, this is exercise 43. In this exercise, what are we said to do? Here are a number of sentences with missing prepositions. Try to add the right ones. He goes to school every day, but his younger brother stays at home. We write with the pen or pencil on paper. He was born at Gujranwala in a house near the marketplace. He put on a coat and placed a hat on his head. He has been away for holidays, so I haven't seen him for 3 days. I will see you at 4 o'clock on Thursday at the station. She gave back the book and thanked me for the loan of it. He fell off his cycle and hit the ground with a bump. The plane leaves for Karachi at 3 o'clock. Please come and sit with me. I want to talk to you. Dear students, we have done a few exercises of grammar. Now we shall read the lesson 18. Dear students, before starting the reading, I want you to get familiar with a few words. They may be new for some of you. Let us see. The first word is humble. Humble means not proud or not believing that you are important. Despite means although something happened or is true. Distant means far away in space or time. Broadcast means a television or radio program. Typhoon means a violent storm with very strong winds. Correspondent, someone who reports news for newspapers. Exclusive means expensive and only for people who are rich or important. Dear students, this is the lesson. Let us read it. This book gives accounts in easy English of the lives of such world famous men as Rhodes of Africa, Carnegie. This G gives G sound. Carnegie, Rockefeller, and several others. Carnegie, Rockefeller, and several others. Many of these rose from humble beginnings to positions of great power and influence, but despite their great personal success, they did not forget their duty towards others. The passage that follows is taken from the beginning of the chapter that deals with Reuter. Their pronunciation of this is given here, Reuter. Who founded the first great news agency? Reuter, the great news agency. Have you ever wondered how it comes about that in the newspapers or on the radio we hear so quickly about events that have occurred in distant parts? It is possible to broadcast a message around the world in a fraction of seconds. So, why should we not be told by the newsreader that has happened only an hour ago, say in Moscow? It is not so simple as it sounds. How is the news sent to the newspaper offices all over the country and to the BBC so that it can be served hot, as the newspaper men say, at our breakfast tables and from our loudspeakers? If there is a disaster in a Welsh coal mine, or a typhoon in the China Sea, or an important speech by the Prime Minister of New Zealand, Almost everyone in the world hears about it in a matter of hours, unless it was the business of certain people to distribute news. While still hot, it would take much longer to get to us. Dear students, we are learning how news come to us. Fresh news. This is second part of the lesson. This is second part of the passage given in this lesson. If you look at a newspaper, you will see that most of the items of news indicate where they come from. At the head of some of them is printed from our own correspondent. That means that the newspaper has a man or woman belonging to its staff, covering certain happenings and sending it exclusive reports to the newspaper office. Messages from our own correspondent are usually concerned with important happenings which were foreseen so that correspondents could be sent to cover them, or they are from some important city, where the newspapers consider it worthwhile to employ a reporter or correspondent permanently. At the end of other news stories, there may be printed British United Press or just BUP, or Associated Press, or most commonly the word Reuters. These are news agencies. News agencies are firms whose business is to collect news and sell it to newspapers, radio systems, and television media all over the world. Even the greatest newspapers and broadcasting systems cannot afford to have correspondents everywhere. So it is obvious that the news agencies are very useful to them. It is with the greatest of these agencies, Reuters, that we are concerned. Part number 4 is, in the old days, news traveled by slowly, about as fast as a horse could gallop. There were quicker ways of sending messages. For example, the Romans built signal stations along the east coast of Britain so that they could send signals by smoke and fire if the barbarians approached the coast in their ships. The same plan was used over 1,000 years later when Philip of Spain's Armada was expected, and again when Napoleon had designs on England. But this was making signals rather than sending news. Dear students, next part is, as man became busier and time more precious, some method of sending messages quickly had to be discovered. Yes, students, the semaphore was invented and towers with movable arms were erected across the country, just within sight of each other, so that messages could be passed on from station to station. Yes, students, could you understand semaphore? It was a pole having arms. It was used to give signals. This was the first telegraph, the quickest way of sending messages before the coming of electricity. Most news was sent by post, that is, relays of horses were provided along the route, and a coach or a post boy on horseback carried the news, and the mail picking up fresh horses when the old ones were tired. Another method of sending news was by pigeon. Yes, the carrier pigeon, specific name it has, Like the cat is extremely attached to its home, and if a traveler wanted to send a message back to his starting point, he fixed it to a pigeon which he had taken with him. The bird, once set free, flew straight back to its loft, and the message could then be taken from its leg. The invention of the electric telegraph and the Morse code, and later of wireless, speeded up the sending of news. But before news could be sent, it had to be collected. Paul Julius Reuter did more than any other man to organize the collection and distribution of news. Dear students, we have read the passage. I think you have developed some understanding. In your homework, you will read it once again to get better understanding of the passage given in this lesson. Let us start our exercises. In the section of comprehension and vocabulary, first exercise is for each of the words in list A taken from the passage, find a word or phrase of similar meaning in list B. Yes, students, let us do it. Occurred is similar to happened. Fraction means part. Distribute means give or send out. Indicate, show. Foreseen, expected to happen. Permanently, for a long time. Barbarian, uncivilized person. Method, way of doing something. Find in the passage the name of a person who sends news to corresponds with. Who sends news to newspaper? What is this person called? This person is called correspondent. An adjective meaning reserved for one newspaper only. What is that? Exclusive. The name for a firm that collects news and sells it to newspapers and broadcasting services all over the world. What is the name of that? News agency. The name for signaling by means of moving arms. What is that? Semaphore. The adjective used of a pigeon that carries message. The carrier pigeon. Yes, students, we have done this exercise. Now we shall answer the questions. First question is, what do you understand by hot news? It means fresh news. Explain in your own words what is meant by the phrase from our own correspondent. Yes, students, I think you know now. It means that the news has been sent by an employee of the newspaper itself fixed at a place. Why do newspapers and broadcasting system find news agencies useful? They find it useful because through them they can get fresh news instead of employing their own employee everywhere in the world. Question 4 is, which 6 ways of sending messages are mentioned in this passage? Dear students, here in this passage it is mentioned signals of smoke and fire, semaphore, pole moving arms, relays of horses, carrier pigeon, employment of correspondents, news agencies. These are the 6 ways mentioned in this lesson. You can prepare any 5. Question number 5 is, explain in your own words why it is possible to use carrier pigeon for sending messages. Dear students, as we have read it in the lesson, it is possible to use carrier pigeons for sending messages because they love and recognize their home. We can send a message by fixing it to the leg of the bird and flying it free to go to its home, and then we can take off the message tied with its leg. Dear students, next is language structure. In language structure, we are going to read adverb clauses of reason. Adverb clause of reason Adverb clauses of reason usually begin with because, since, or as. Because it was raining, we stayed indoors. Since it was raining, we stayed indoors. As it was raining, we stayed indoors. The main clause may come first. There is no comma to separate the main clause from the adverb clause. Dear students, can you see here comma? Yes, if main clause comes first, like this one, then there will be no comma. This comma is here when the main clause is given here. But if main clause comes first, then there will be no comma. Be careful about that. This is exercise A. Let us read the examples. Rewrite these sentences using adverb clauses of reason. The reason for his being late was that he missed the bus. He was late because he missed the bus. Having hurt my ankle, I could not walk quickly. As I had hurt my ankle, comma, I could not walk quickly. Dear students, we shall write the answers. We shall change them. Number 1 can be changed in 3 ways. All these 3 are its answers. You can write any one of them. Being tired, he decided to sleep for a while. Dear students, main clause is later, written later, that is why comma is here. We can change it in 3 ways. As he was tired, comma, he decided to sleep for a while. He decided to sleep for a while because he was tired. Since he was tired, comma, he decided to sleep for a while. All these are correct answers. You can use any one of them. The reason for his success was that he worked hard. Use he succeeded. He succeeded because. He succeeded as. He succeeded since. All are correct options. Not having read the newspaper, I did not know what had happened. I'm sorry. As I had not read the newspaper, comma, I did not know what had happened. It can be written like this. It can be written with since, and it can be written by using because here in the middle. All these 3 ways are the correct ones. Let us move next. The reason for the accident was the failure of his brakes. Use the accident happened. The accident happened because. You can use as also. Both will be correct options. Knowing that it was dangerous, he would not do it. Since he knew it was dangerous, comma, he would not do it. He would not do it because. He would not do it as. All are correct options. Dear students, the next one is adverb clause of purpose. He locked the door so that no one might come in. He stood up in order that he might see more clearly. He explained carefully so that they should know what to do. There is very little difference between purpose and reason in meaning, but adverb clause of purpose usually begin with so that, or in order that. Dear students, we must be careful with tenses. In the 3 examples, the verbs in the main clauses are all in the past tense. Worked, stood, explained. The verbs in the subordinate clauses are therefore also past. Might, should. Yes, students, read the examples and try to remember how verbs are used. He is locking the door so that no one may come in. He will stand up in order that he may see more clearly. He explained carefully so that they will know what to do. Dear students, this is exercise B. Add may, will, might, should. We shall add may, will in present and future, might and should in past. Lift it up so that I may. He lifted it up. This is past, might or would. They climbed to the top, climbed past, might. Gave up past, might. Shall bring, should. Is saving, may. Opened, should. I shall join the library so that I may borrow a book whenever I want one. Dear students, in your homework you will learn and write the dialogue that we did in our today's lesson. That is dialogue between brother and sister. You will read the passage given in lesson 18. You will do all exercises in your notebook, including grammar and novel. We did one exercise from novel and a few from grammar. You will do all which we did in our today's lesson. That is all from our today's lesson. See you later in our new lesson. Goodbye.